It is going to be a bit of an issue against the Earth Shaker, of course, if you don't catch that Shaker in. Just one good Fisher, and suddenly you can't really right-click anyone. In the case of the Void in that Curling Sphere, but looks like OG's not going to lock into their core yet. They just go ahead, pick up that Oracle, and it's a strong opening from OG already. Again, you blink in with a mag, you have the root follow-up from the Oracle, the RP's there, the sustain from the Oracle as well. And the lane presence from these heroes, it's really darn good. I'm really keen to see how they draft around this Magnus still. So much room to go with this draft.
Of course, we did. I'm sure both you and I both forgot that with OG in the game, we're going to hear a lot of those voice lines going on. I almost wasn't prepared for how much was being spammed already. But that is something to be expected. Somewhat of a treat, of course, for the viewers. Not so much for us, John, because we have to try and talk over them. But that's perfectly fine. That's why we're in a casting competition, John. A bit of hardship.
Definitely is, Mike.
Anybody.
Absolutely.
Alliance.
I do have to point out, though,
yes,
before you go on to your own point, the guy spamming the voice lanes right now, that was all Alliance. Really absolutely perfect. That was Alliance. Insania and Koikra really just playing around with it, so, you know, we haven't seen that power come out of OG yet.
Alliance bringing out the strategies very early on against OG, and OG perhaps just a little intimidated by those voice lines. Of course, perhaps Alliance want to show off how big their Seb is, John, in comparison to Seb's Seb, which should be the biggest. But you never really know with these players. Nevertheless, Alliance, they do go for the second pick, Morphling. Nice hero to pick up, of course, you can morph into the Magnus, take the Empower for yourself, and just use it on whoever the hell you want. As well as that, John, and we saw this before. The Morphling in conjunction with the Earthshaker. Once you've, excuse me, once you've got that talent where you can morph into your allies, I mean, the last time we saw it, Morphling would just morph into the Earthshaker, use the Enchant Totem, and morph back. Suddenly, he's hitting for over 1k.
Yeah, that is definitely something to watch out for if you're OG. This strong opening from Alliance, just that Earthshaker and Morphling. So much synergy with each other, and if the game does go late again, Morphling with that talent is turning to the Shaker and getting that enchant off. It's wild. It's definitely something to watch out for. Again, the Morphling already, of course, having great burst potential with his build up to the E-Blade. You know, typically a second or sometimes third, usually third or fourth item pickup for the Morphling. But just having that additional damage as well is pretty darn good for Alliance. OG, of course, going back to that Troll, as I mentioned before, when they have that Magnus, they usually go to the Troll or Void, and Alliance did ban out the Void, so it's a Troll for them this time around. Great hero with that Magnus, farms quite fast, fights quite well. With the Oracle, it should be really hard to actually kill off the Troll. You just have that ultimate to play with, and, you know, the Oracle ultimate as well to keep you up, so I do like this pick for OG.
Certainly can't disagree with you. I mean, you did mention it before, but power the Troll Warlord, and once he gets into that engagement, there's just hardly any way to kill him. We'll see, though, Alliance, of course. They've probably got some ideas up their sleeve. Still, 1 minute 35 seconds of reserve time left for them for this third pickup. Of course, nice to see, though, Alliance, they did end up getting rid of that Void, and even Anna's OD, not wanting to deal with any of those. Gee, looks like they got rid of the Winter Wyvern Razor. Still, is there many ways to deal with this Troll? Like, you've got so much time, essentially, with the Troll and the Oracle. I'm going to take a wild guess and say, of course, probably the best way to deal with this combination is just get rid of the Oracle first, and suddenly a lot of the problem's gone. But do you see any hero pickups they could make to try and avoid this issue?
I'd say I don't think the Troll's the major issue in the draft from OG. We have seen Trolls have a bad run as well. It's not a hero that does particularly well. If you can kite him quite fine, and up against an Earthshaker, you will be relying on some pretty good Fishers to come out, but there are ways to kite this Troll. I think the key issue is going to be the combination coming out from OG. If the Magnus can get fast blink, and if they start pumping out that aggression really well, have superior vision, and take advantage of Alliance, that's going to be where the issues come out for Alliance. But the Troll itself, not the major issue here. Again, you're more likely to be targeting the Oracle, as you mentioned, or the Magnus. And you do have ways of responding to that. I do want to talk about Alliance's pickup first, though. The Lion coming out for them. And again, not too typical of a support here. We have seen it pop up in and out every now and again. It does work out quite well with the damage you do have right now on Alliance's side, but OG going straight for that Shadow Shaman is really funny for me, because again, it's something we always talk about, right? Lion and Shadow Shaman, their toolkits are not exactly the same, but they are similar enough. They have 2 tools of control, 1 massive nuke, and Lion has the added benefit of mana sustain, but Shadow Shaman has the benefit of pushing like a madman. And overall, a lot of teams have been favoring that push potential rather than the burst and mana sustain that Lion brings. And that just makes me slightly worried for Alliance. Great push already on OG, great team fight, great single target control. It's gonna be a bit of an issue here for Alliance. Just many ways for OG to actually hold that Morphling down as well, very early on.
Certainly so, I can't disagree. Alliance is 4th pickup now, 30 seconds reserve time left, so they don't have too much time to think about these final picks and bans. Have some answers ready here. Other cores are we going to see coming out? Of course, that Centaur pick is still available if they want to run the Centaur on Boxy once again. He did have a pretty nice performance considering the terrible start he did have in that earlier game, but well, they're going to let it tick down all the way, it seems. 2 seconds left here, Alliance. We'll leave it down to 1, and they will opt for the Tidehunter instead. I suppose that Ravage is a perfect answer almost to these team fights that are going to be coming out of OG.
It's great until the BKBs do start flying out for OG, and I reckon they were always going to go through those BKBs fast anyway. You were always susceptible to being kited around just purely by the Earthshaker alone. Would have been a pickup, I'd say 3rd item pickup, maybe 4th item. Even then, Alliance now does have some really good team fight of their own. Shaker, of course, in conjunction with Tide, does give you a lot of control in a massive area. The key thing is playing around that Ravage cooldown. It's something we always talk about when the Tidehunter is up, even when the Magnus is up as well. You have to maximize your ultimates. Whenever they're up, pop them, force a fight, even if you're just bursting down one hero. It's going to be pertinent that you make use of it, and then translate that into an objective. I think for Alliance, it's definitely much, much more pertinent for them, whereas OG can actually just kind of take the backseat, although you don't want to give too much space to Alliance. We've seen Morphlings get very wild. As we mentioned early on, the burst damage is going to be insane from the Morph, and overall, the lineup of Alliance is actually really looking great towards that burst. But the 5v5 is also there for Alliance. I still feel like you're gonna favor OGs just a bit more. It's much scarier to think about a Magnus RP into a Troll, compared to Alliance staggering their stunts and slowly picking off everyone one by one.
It really can go either way. Now Alliance, Storm Spirit will be the pickup from them, and I suppose that is another way to find those heroes that are kind of just sitting there in the stun. You have Burst Fire in the Morphling, but now the Storm Spirit as well. Maybe I'll just burst somebody down through these engagements, and I feel like it's just a specific pick, especially up against that Shadow Shaman and the Oracle. Just ensuring you can burst them down before the engagement even begins. Make sure you don't have the control coming out from OG. So OG, they have so much time left for this last pick that I'm sure they could come up with a pretty decent answer.
I am a bit worried for this Storm Spirit pickup. You do have a lot of ways of just keeping it down there. Shadow Shaman by himself can keep the Storm locked in for a very long time. That does mean Storm should try to jump to Shadow first, but even Oracle has a pretty good route until the Storm Spirit has a way of purging that off. So I am interested to see just how far Alliance can make the Storm Spirit work, because the control is there for OG, and we have seen Storms have a bad start before. Really hard to play catch-up, although in this case, in Alliance's draft, I believe you do have a bit more room, right? Your sports aren't too greedy, the Tidehunter can be a bit selfless as well, so if they do struggle with that Storm lane phase, he does have some room for himself, but OG, they pick up that Silencer, and I was going to say that was actually an option that Alliance could have drafted for themselves. Instead of maybe the Lion, going for that Silencer would have enabled them to have the advantage early on, just always forcing the issue. Not going to be any sort of retaliation if you get that global silence off. But now it's on OG's side, and you're going to have the same issue now for Alliance. It's going to be over on mid as well, with Thompson playing it. Up against a Storm Spirit, there's definitely a lot you can punish with that Silencer.
Look, it's an interesting pick to make, and it's certainly, I mean, if any teams were going to make these kind of picks, it's OG. The core Silencer, however, we've seen Silencers make it pretty far into the game and be super powerful.
10 seconds!
But after that level 6 mark on the Storm, it does feel like Thompson, once that global silence is down, might just be a sitting duck here. I don't know if I'm wrong here, John. I guess it could go either way, but It's just been so long since I've seen a core silencer come out in the mid lane. It's definitely a direct counterpick towards a lot of the heroes there on Alliance, so I can see the value in it. Overall, looking at both these drafts, I want you to give me a prediction. Who do you think has maybe the slight better draft going into this game?
I still believe OG has a strong draft. They have the initiation tool, they have the counter initiation and the silencer from Thompson. They will have to invest a bit into Thompson to make sure he doesn't fall behind, because we talk about mid heroes falling behind all the time. Silencer has no way to flash farm. Absolutely no way to flash farm. So you want to make sure this hero has a good time, and that was a pretty darn long set.
It definitely was. I think OG may have gotten started as well with the voice line.
Yeah, that's them. But yeah, overall, OG lineup was looking pretty solid. I'd have to say I do favor them a bit more. If you do give Alliance, if you give Alliance a bit too much, that Morphling's gonna be a major issue, right? Him with the Earthshaker shifting into the Earthshaker with his talent, it's gonna be a bad time if you let him. But again, it's all down to the timings. Who will have that stronger laning phase? I don't see OG giving out too much at release. I see OG maintaining some sort of laning aggression. And wow, Seb's sub is definitely long. That's definitely what you want. Would have been a bit embarrassing if it wasn't that big.
John, I've told you many times, it's not about how big the Seb is, it's about how you use it. But don't feel embarrassed, all you people with the smaller Sebs out there. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine indeed. Of course, it is expected that Seb has the biggest Seb though. I mean, he is Seb after all. Nevertheless, John, moving into this game, Alliance versus OG, you talked about the draft. You said OG's was slightly more powerful, in your opinion, than OG's, or excuse me, Alliance's is. They are going to go for a quick smoke attempt here. With that mid lane, they know the Storm was placing wards, so Qualifier will not be the target. He does run towards the east of that T1 tower, and OG looking for another target. They are going to run into one just as good in Mickey. He does not have the waveform, of course. He does go for the attribute shift, and that should mean a death on him. There's just way too much damage coming in, and Topson will be the one to go ahead and pick up the kill secure. Fantastic start there from OG.
Definitely so. It's the one issue with Morphling, right? You almost never want to level up anything else besides your shift level 1. Even at level 2, you tend to go for the adaptive strike just to be able to dish some harass out. So that waveform was just not going to be there. Unfortunate for Mickey that he does cop that gank, but they will lane shift immediately, throwing him down to the bot.
Gonna be against Seb, that bot lane, though. A smoke will come out. Tiger and Insania now perhaps wanting to make a bit of a play here, and of course the thing is, if they do run mid, Thompson is a bit of a sitting duck. Level 1 silencer, not the best at trying to escape. They are going to miss out on the courier snipe if that's what they wanted, but I'm sure it is the silencer that they're really here for. Quake already copying a fair bit of damage, but there's the Fisher coming out. Thompson, how do you duke this one out? You probably don't. The Earth Spike will connect, and the gold does get split between the Alliance heroes.
And that's really the issue when you're laning the silencer, right? He has no natural way of escaping. I think at all points in the game, he just has no way. He's going to cop that gank. And if you're OG right now, you have to decide, do you let Thompson have a good run down mid, or are you going to try to make your side lanes better? And it looks like Alliance is not going to let up. They're just going to sit here, look for the opportunity again.
They loop around for the surprise secondary gank. Oh, TP cancelled as well. That's not going to be good news for Thompson if they do make a move now, but Thompson may actually scout them out himself. He is going to run through the tree line, still doesn't see anybody, and now Tiger will throw out the Fisher. Insania, Earth Spike not being thrown out. It does eventually get there, but it was more than enough time for Jerax to rotate over on that Shadow Shaman. Thompson even asked them to calm themselves.
Yeah, and again, it does look like OG is willing to invest a bit more on Thompson, but having Jerax TP in right now isn't really too helpful. At least the gank is called off, but Jerax now not really being able to commit to anything, so he's just going to be wandering around that jungle, making sure the supports are truly gone, make sure Thompson has a good time.
Tiger's still there, so at the very least it's basically 2 position 4s wasting a lot of time here, and Jerax also securing that mid lane. He's going to try and dish out a bit of harassment perhaps onto Qualifier, but Qualifier does have a double damage rune, so definitely not going to be the best trades here if they do attempt that. It looks like Jerax will run into Tiger, who will go for a Fisher and will find Thompson. Qualifier, though, was not really close enough to engage, and of course he is still only level 3 on that Storm Spirit, so there's only so much you can do. Thompson definitely looks like... I was going to say he's getting shot down, but he's still got equal last hits in comparison to Qualifier, so it doesn't look like he cares at all about all these gank attempts.
Yeah, I think the key thing for the Silencer is definitely, at the very least, matching in terms of last hits. Of course, you don't want to lag behind. I think that's the key thing, and Thompson is maintaining parity, which is good enough, especially on the Silencer.
Top lane, Boxy, he's copying a lot of harassment here. In fact, No-Tail getting the Purifying Flames and the Fortunes in, and Anna gets the job done. Boxy was actually just dancing around there with the Tidehunter, but does get punished with his life for it. Thompson, meanwhile, mid lane does go a bit too forward, and again, Tiger has not let up. But the thing is, he doesn't actually pop the Mango, doesn't have the Fisher yet. It was on cooldown. Now No-Tail comes in, Fortune's End will connect with the Purifying Flames. Qualifier moves in, will find the Silencer kill, but they do get the Earthshaker in return. Qualifier looks like he'll be able to get out of there safely. Jerax not in range for the Shackles quite yet. Won't get there in the end, so I feel like Alliance still going to be very happy about that, just getting that Silencer kill.
Yeah, there's a lot coming out from that that does benefit Alliance. Not only did they get the kill in the core in exchange for just the support, they forced the supports to rotate as well. So that means the side lanes are freed up just a bit, and that does enable them to get a bit more from them as well.
At the very least, I guess Thompson did get the minus in from the Earthshakers. That's one positive, but that's really all there is to that. Like said, kind of being harassed out of the lane here by Insania. Mid lane, Qualifier, I trouble, No-Tail, gonna block off the haste rune, and now the Shackles into the Fortune's End will all connect. They root him in place. Qualifier still can't zip away. Of course, it's on level 6, but look at that Fisher coming out from Tiger. Now Insania as well with the Earth Spike, just stopping everything. So Qualifier thinking about turning around here. He does salve up Jerax. He's going to be the target though. No, Shackles will come out straight onto the line, and Insania loses his life. Now Thompson thinking he can go for even more, and he does have a haste rune. Qualifier, he cops a lot of damage. It looks like he will be forced to walk back to his fountain.
Yeah, and again, that's massive for Alliance. Just having Qualifier waste all this time is really paying off. Sure, you do, again, drag your supports down here to secure all of this for Thompson, but a Silencer is one of those heroes that just needs it. Their laning phase is, by themselves, atrocious. They have no way of escaping. Their damage is great, but if you commit hard enough, there's just nothing this guy can do. He's not tanky, has no escape mechanisms, again, just really easy to pick off. You have to ensure Thompson gets this good start, and so far, he has been finding what he wants.
Again, you've seen that mid lane. Tiger still does not leave. Just sticking around, though No-Tail will do exactly the same on the Oracle. There is a bit of a loop around here from Insania on that line, and the Fisher does connect, and now the Vortex Qualifier with the Earth Spike as well. I don't think No-Tail really keeps Thompson alive here, and he does not. Tries his best, but there's only so much you can do when you're level 3 on that Oracle.
Yeah, and again, just both sides understanding the significance of this mid lane. Both heroes, of course, being extreme tempo setters. And they do want to make sure both sides just have it, so all the action is focused here, and that's really just the nature of both of these drafts.
Every lane still remaining relatively passive. Insania is going to be chased down here by Seb. Meanwhile, mid lane Tiger will get shackled up, and No-Tail does go in with the Fortune's End, though. It will just end up being a kill. Fisher will come out from Tiger in time, but it won't even matter. Thompson does find it, and he is on now 8 stolen in on that Silencer. Not a bad deal for him.
Yeah, he's at 93 base damage as well. He has 4 of his null talismans up, so he is dishing out that damage. But again, it's down to that investment from OG. Is it going to pay off in the end? Fully? Probably will. But, you know, there is still a lot going on for Alliance. I mean, if you take a look at Mickey, he's pretty much free farm this lane. 44 to 19. And he's already leveled 6. He's had a free run down here at bot, and that is a worrying sign for OG.
Looks like they're happy to leave him alone, because top lane, they are going to chase Boxy on that Tidehunter. Jerax will get the Shackles off in time, and Anna moves in as well. Boxy, though, so tanky, but the Purifying Flames and the last hit from Jerax will get the job done. Nice pickup. Definitely wasn't easier than you'd want, but still, Back to the point you were making though, Mickey is really farming up very well. 3.2k net worth. He's about almost 300 gold ahead of Anna on that Troll Warlord. Mid lane, Thompson as well will end up losing his life here. It looks like he was trying to make a push onto Qualifier, but of course Qualifier still had his supports around him on the Earthshaker and the Lion.
Yeah, he was trying to run away on the right side, probably work his way towards the rune as well. When he noticed Shaker in the area, they TP in Insania as well. And it's a fairly straightforward pick-off. Again, the Silencer not being the tankiest hero, no innate escapes. Once you're cornered like that, chain stun, you're pretty much dead.
Again, we see some harassment there on the top lane onto Boxy, but he just doesn't care about that. Notel, he'll TP out, Seb will come in. Does have the RP as well if he wants to commit it right now. Boxy's still taunting them while this is happening though. Ravage is committed. Tiger moving in as well, gets a nice Fisher off, and they will find the Troll Warlord. Anna does lose his life, and Seb should be okay though. Here comes Notel, they want the trade. Boxy is still so tanky, but not tanky enough for the Purifying Flames of Notel. So a 1-for-1 trade, but again, Alliance probably going to be satisfied with that.
Definitely happy with that trade if you're Alliance. You managed to take off that Troll, who isn't as free-farmed as the Morphling, but still had a pretty good run down at the top lane, and slowing him down is definitely key. Again, while all of these exchanges happen, they just leave Mickey alone. They teleport in all their supports to find his counter kills, they teleport in Seb as well, and you just give Mickey a free time down here at bot. He's already really shoving into this tier 1 as well.
Well, they did find Jerax while that engagement up top was happening, so Jerax ended up losing his life, though the kill did go to Insania to be fair, but Mickey now just really looking fantastic on this Morphling. Though it does feel like OG aren't really concerned, like they have not made one play to try and go after him. Perhaps just having a lot of confidence here in Thompson to ensure he gets the silences off where necessary.
It's a fair move to make, and you know, they are having Anna farm up a massive stack right now, which should definitely help the cause. And this is one of the great things about having that Magnus, right? Early levels and Empower just ensures your core, your melee core, will be able to find this massive injection of gold with the stacks.
Go ahead and take the rest of it. Of course, looks like Thompson will remain in the mid lane, just keeps farming up. Qualifier though has smoked up with Tiger, and they're going to go for a bit of play down that bot lane, it seems. So the only person showing at bot lane is currently Jerax. I don't feel like that's the most high priority target here for Alliance, but a kill's a kill if they can find it. Qualifier, of course, at that level 7 mark can easily initiate, though Jerax actually jukes them out for the moment. Now the zip, but he's running quite out of mana, pretty darn fast. It won't matter though. Qualifier will be able to pick up that easy kill onto Jerax, and that will also secure them the 2 bot bounty runes there for Alliance.
Yeah, and again, this is a really great rotation coming out from Alliance. They managed to find that pickoff, they get those runes, they don't lose anyone up top, and they take out this tier 1 down bot. So they are finding stuff to work with around the map. They're taking just slightly more control into this bot lane. They are trading with their tier 1 up top, but I don't think you're too unhappy if you're Alliance with that.
Well, tier 1 for tier 1 trade. Both teams just going to be happy with that, I'm sure. Mid lane though, Qualifier will start pushing it in as that storm. You look at the difference in farm on Qualifier and the Silencer, and there's practically nothing right now. Both just very, very even in that game. Qualifier definitely trying to pursue and making sure he's ahead. Top lane, looks like they have found Anna, who was pursuing a kill onto the Tide, though Boxy is pretty darn tanky, as said before. Global Silence will come out, and Boxy actually falls low, but the Fisher comes out. Now the Ravage as well. The Battle Trance will eventually wear off. Insania just making sure he's controlled up, and they find a secondary kill there on the Troll Warlord. Thompson does rotate around, though, and does find Insania before he's able to TP up. Trying to find even more now. It looks like Qualifier should be okay. Tiger will remain on that Earthshaker just in case Qualifier needs the help. In fact, they're thinking about jumping back in, but now No Tail shows himself with the Fate's Edict and those Purifying Flames. And Jerax actually rotates around, will find Tiger. Purifying Flames will get that job done. Qualifier does zip out and realizes his time at the top lane is over.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That's a bit of shame from Jerax. Again, he does expend those wards to get that kill on the Shaker. Does mean this push is going to be slightly slower than what you'd want, but I guess securing that kill was a bigger priority for OG. They will still manage to do significant damage on this tier 2. Whether or not they do manage to take it fully is a different thing.
Disha is there from Tiger, but unfortunately doesn't really block them in though. Mickey now comes in, morphs into the Shaman, but doesn't throw the Hex out immediately. Over the shackles, in fact he does get them off now. Can they find a very easy pick here onto the Shaman? Spike and the Zip in from Quaver. They'll get one on Jerax, and now they'll go after the silence of Thompson. He's a much bigger target, and Sania just fingers him down. Seb though has the RP, has an Invis rune, is looking for an opportunity. Oh, he doesn't really have the follow-up damage here. The rest of his heroes really just dying very early on. No Tail now gets scouted, still being around that area, and perhaps they're going to go after Mickey on that Morphling. Oh, they do decide better of it. Do back off. Keep farming up those nutrients.
That's going to be the key thing for OG right now. If their troll is not ready to commit, if Anna's not around, they actually really can't take the 5v5. They depend on that troll really empowered for a massive amount of damage, and when he's not there, I don't think you should be forcing this as OG.
Sania showing off once again.
Radiant are
Was good
scanning
to
for
see.
enemies.
No Tail sticking around that top lane for the moment. Dangerous to remain there because Tiger does eventually spot him out. Tail does have a TP, but of course got to be afraid of that Fisher that will eventually come out of Tiger. He does go for the TP, but immediately the Fisher comes out. Nice timing there. At the very least, they'll make sure that he can't TP up, but now it looks like the side of OG want to reinitiate. Ooh, RP being cancelled off in the nick of time. The skill was just a little bit short. Meanwhile, bot lane though, the Serpent Wards and Thompson are pushing in, but here comes the Zip. Quasar again wants this silencer real bad. With Mickey and Boxy there, it should mean a kill. They have the Ravage anyway. The salve is cancelled off as well. Thompson still trying to make a run for it. Wasting a fair bit of time, but at the very least they do hold on to the Ravage, and Mickey will find a very important pickup.
Yeah, and again, that's a key rotation coming out here for Alliance. Sure, they lose their tier 1 down bot, not the biggest issue anymore right now. They managed to find that kill on Thompson, who has been kind of let off easy for the past few minutes, so that does give Koika a bit of an edge as well in terms of farm. And it's a good sign for Alliance. Still a slight lead for OG, but it's really not a significant number at nearly 15 minutes in.
Well, as it stands right now, that slight lead that they have is probably just thanks to the Empower on Anon that keeps him farming up. And now Boxy moves in. He knows No Tail's there by himself, though. Doesn't want to completely initiate quite yet. Though he does have the Ravage available. Now the Global Silence, though. They want to turn this around on the side of OG, and they go straight after Quaver. He will be able to zip himself out in time. And now Boxy still holding on. Big RP there from Sam after 2, and they can't get the Ravage off in time. They'll find both of them on the side of Alliance. Boxy, he was just waiting for that perfect moment, but it seems like it never came.
Yeah, I mean, I understand holding on to that Ravage just a bit. Unfortunately, we're not at that point where the Tidehunter is stanky enough to really comp all those ultimates, all the damage coming out from OG, and that does mean OG can take the first roach of the game.
You start to really see the strength of that silencer as well, like Alliance initiate, and then the Global Silence comes out, and then everything stops. OG, they go ahead, they claim the Aegis 15 minutes into this game. With that, they're going to feel a lot more confident now to pursue even further on this map. Of course, Jerax, he has those Serpent Wards back up, so he's looking to make another push if he can. Only thing is, there's only tier 2 towers remaining on the map here for Alliance, so definitely not going to be as easy as you'd like if you're the Shadow Shaman. Quaver, meanwhile, trying to catch up on this Storm, essentially. He's still doing pretty well. In fact, he's ahead of Thompson, but with that Storm, you really do require quite a few key items before you can actually just start doing Storm Spirit things.
Yeah, key items and some EXP doesn't hurt as well. You definitely want a few of your talents to be up to really start pushing damage, or to the very least sustain yourself in the front line where you zip in. They will walk into each other here. Spotted out by the Warriors.
Gonna jump in straight onto No-Tail. They get rid of the Oracle, and that makes these team fights so much easier. Though they don't want to fight into Ana's Aegis right now. Mickey just trying to back off. Insania throws up the Hex, but Jerax is there ready to go. Don't forget, Boxy still has the Ravage available. They do get the Hex off onto Mickey, but he's still okay. He'll wait for him in time. Boxy just gonna want to walk his way out, but they might even turn it around if they need to. Earth Spike will slow down Seb for the moment. Ana gonna give up quite yet. Let's get the slow off again, though. Boxy still pretty healthy right now. Not really afraid of dying, and he will just hold on to the Ravage for the moment. Good that he did as well, because this tier 2 is going to be pushed in here from OG.
I don't see the defense coming out for Alliance. I don't think they want to really force the issue here. While Ana has that Aegis, probably going to look to defend the high ground if OG does opt to start applying pressure there, of course. But for this tier 2, it's just a bit tough, right? You can't really burst down Ana twice over without also clearing out that all the other key targets you want, so if you just let it fall.
Now they spot out Mickey again. Seb, he still has the RP available. Looks like he really wants that Morphling. Even going to cut through the creeps now. There are a lot of Alliance heroes coming around. They will make the jump in with the Fisher. Mech being popped here by Seb, but it's not going to help the cause. He will end up going down. The rest of the OG immediately retreating.
Yo, this guy has no chill, man.
That's a fair move to make. Again, you do rely on that RP a bit to take these 5v5s, and just losing out on Seb, probably not the biggest deal. If you do lose a bit more, I'm going to be slightly worried for OG side.
Seb is going to be up in 10 seconds. Perhaps it's enough time for them to get back into this tier 1 defense. So Ana getting caught out, Bates eating, will be there in time. Boxy pretty deep, and may end up losing his life if he's not careful. Ana, he's starting to hit pretty darn fast, but the problem is he's tickling him right now. Meanwhile, Seb is back into the engagement, but an immediate Hex comes out of Insania. They do get the shackle off on the line, and it looks like they will punish Alliance. They're trying to go after that tier 1. Though no real targets being caught out, just a support line for the moment. Wait for though.
Again,
they're being chased down right now. In fact, Jerax, he's going to cut him off in a moment. He gets the Hex. There's the Circle Wards and the Shackle being committed. They may have to RP, but it looks like they'll be fine. Thompson had the Rod of Atos available. And a really nice loop around there from Jerax, understanding exactly where Qualifier would be going.
And it's at this point where you start to worry about the Storm, right? We mentioned it from draft. There are many ways for OG to keep him pinned. Jerax alone just held him long enough to pick him off. And the Atos coming out from Thompson. It's just too much control right now from OG. So, you know, you will have to be cautious if you're Koitka.
Tiger, he does have a blink ready to go on the Earthshaker, so he can attempt to defend, but it's not going to be an easy mission for him. Looks like Insania may end up losing his life, and he does to Thompson. Thompson currently on 22 stolen intelligence now. And Ana just keeps ripping through the racks. He still holds the Aegis. There's just nothing to be afraid of for him. His whole team still behind him. Boxy cannot find a good Ravage attempt right now. In fact, he might have to pop it soon. Ana, though, just going to man-fight Mickey. Going to maybe allow that Aegis to wear off, though. He has nowhere to back off to. He does let the Aegis pop. Can they do it one more time? The Global Silence comes out. They found Qualifier on the Storm, but they don't dive in. They'll leave him be. Boxy moving in now. Qualifier, he'll go straight onto Ana. Though Ana will turn around and start match fighting. Boxy will grab the Ravage. Does connect onto 4 heroes, but it's not going to be quite enough. Seb, though, can't grab the RP and will end up losing his life. Again, Ana still chasing on more. But the Agno Slam, it will come out of Tiger and really turns this one around. Jerax goes down as well. The only one left is Ana, but he's gone. A full team wipe back. Hold on a minute. That Battle Trance was doing a lot of work, and he did end up getting Qualifier in the end. But a full team wipe there from Alliance. And I give that all to Tiger with that Echo, just really turning that one around.
He just found the right targets, you know. OG was under pressure to get that counter initiation. He jumps in, he blocked out Seb from getting that RP, and without that RP, OG's teamfight just fell apart. It's really concerning for OG. They died twice on Ana. They lost the Aegis, they lost him as well. They at least managed to take that tier 3, but the added objective is just not there. A bit greedy from Ana, really forcing that issue out, wasting that Aegis right there. I understand the pressure to do that. It did feel like the time was ticking away on that item, but he was way too far forward. you don't have a blink on Seb, so he has no easy way of jumping back in to support you as well. Maybe a bit of an overextension from OG there. Definitely just a bit out of place, for sure.
Mickey getting rather close here to the Ethereal Blade now, so the shotgun potential from the Morphling going to be coming soon. OG so close to finding that melee barracks at the top lane, but just falling short.
Dire scanning for enemies.
Hobson looks like he's going to go straight into a Hurricane Pike next on that Silencer as well. Of course, the Silencer doesn't really need any kind of DPS any longer. He's just hitting like an absolute truck already. It's some form of control and escape for himself. It looks like Seb, rather than going for the Guiding Greaves early on, he's just going to go for the Blink Dagger first. And you can't blame him, right? It is just way too hard to try and skewer in to get these RPs in a game like this.
Yeah, he's been trying, and honestly, it hasn't been paying off quite yet. He did finish those Guardian Greaves, but he's still got that Blink Dagger queued up, so when that is up, you can't have Ana really play that far forward. You can afford it. But right then, that last fight.
Atos down the bot lane, though, he Manta are off, but there's the Global Silence. Can they get the work done? The Ghost Scepter will keep him alive. Ana can't actually get anything done against the Morphling, and now they will go onto Tiger instead. Those Shackles are cancelled off, and now the BKB from Ana, just to ensure that they can finish it off. They won't bother trying to chase Boxy on the Tide, but rather they'll go after that tier 2 bot tower now.
Nothing to do until that's done.
Boxy does have Ravage, needs to use the stick charges for the mana. Looks like Insania just having a bit of lag, so we'll just have a quick pause. OG, if they move back into this engagement right now, I mean, they are walking straight into a Ravage from Boxy, so it doesn't look like they're probably just gonna back off here, to be fair. So Seb looks like he may go for something cheeky. The whole side of Alliance, apart from Tiger, are there ready to go. Then again, you look at Mickey and he's so close to picking up the full Eagle Song to finish off the Ethereal Blade, so perhaps he's not really too interested in engaging yet. Definitely not the best.
It's a bit risky. It's a bit risky for sure for Alliance if they go in, especially if they lose Mickey. He's just so close to that E-Blade. And once he has that, and in fact, if they do wait a bit more, just really bide their time, he's going to have 20 soon as well. So when those tools are available, I feel like Alliance would be taking these engagements much more often, but right now it's a huge risk for not the greatest payoff. You'd probably still see the counter initiation coming out from OG. Granted, the Global Silence wasn't there, so that would have been a nice opening for Alliance, but they didn't have Taiga anyway. No buyback as well, so would have been a bit awkward forcing that 4v5.
Well, there's that Ethereal Blade I was talking about as well. So now Mickey probably going to feel a lot more confident. We'll go into the Eye of Skadi next on that Morphling, but just that shotgun potential, especially on somebody like No-Tail on the Oracle, definitely help out in these team fights. Even Jerax on that Shadow Shaman, just getting rid of all that control will help the cause here. Net worth lead really non-existent as well here. OG just leading by less than 1k. Now mid lane, they get a Hex off. They get the Vortex off onto Ana as well. He did have his supports behind him, so he will be okay in the end.
Yeah, again, that was just threatening a bit. They do expend a lot of mana on Qualifiers to ensure that happens, but he picks up an Arcane Rune. That should make him significantly happier. Like, he can afford to do some wacky stuff with this rune. I'm not sure if they'll take advantage of that anytime soon. Of course, they have the tools now. Mickey, of course, 18, and does have that E-Blade, as we mentioned earlier on. The tools are in Alliance's side now. They do have ways of really forcing these fights out.
That top shrine, it looks like Alliance ready to go for a fight over that top boundary room. Ana wanting this. Gets spotted, they get the Fisher off onto No-Tail, but that blocks Boxy in. Very least, it's going to secure that top bounty, but OG not planning to back off either. They'll get started on Boxy first. Trying to bait the side of Alliance into this team fight. Alliance basically trying to do the exact same thing. Boxy will get the bounty, but may use his life to be careful. Still has the Ravage and will commit it onto 4 heroes. The Global Silence just a second too late, but it won't even matter. They already found Boxy on that Tide. Now they found the Morphling, but nice vision Tiger to ensure they can't continue the damage, and now he jumps in for the Echo. No Tail's gone. Meanwhile, Pointer just jumping around the map, trying to find some pickoff. Seb, though, a double RP coming out. He's going to find one. It looks like he'll find another as well. And a 3-for-3 trade. Qualifier and Insania will walk away from that, as well as Seb, and of course Jerax on the Shaman. Overall, the team fights, I mean, not only does the game seem so even, but even these team fights, it's just hard to tell who's ahead.
It is really close right now. I mean, less than 1k lead for OG, 19-21 at 26 minutes in. It's a tight match. I think in that exchange, you do feel a bit happier if you are Alliance. You managed to, at the very least, kill off Anna and Thompson. You managed to get away with Koipa as well. But overall, in terms of gold, that was actually a slight win for OG in the end. So it's a fairly odd trade to have, but both sides, again, just drawing pretty even. I think the next objective will be this Roche, which No Tail does spot out.
Yeah, but Alliance definitely not going to be willing to allow this to go down for free. No Tail. Jump in Seb. He'll jump in as well, but he gets hexed up immediately, and now the Fisher are blocked away. Seb on the wrong side of that Fisher, definitely not going to be happy here. Of course, Koipa will jump in as well. No RP to throw out, though. He is pretty tanky and does have the Guardian Greaves. Anna moved in, but does back off immediately. Now OG just going to force the Roshan. Foxy. No Ravage to speak of. Seb. Got a lot of damage here in Foxy. He might actually go down, and he does. Pointer was not there in time to try and help out, and Anna, he's taking the Roshan way too quick. The only thing they can really hope for here is an Aegis steal. That's really just up to Coinpa, or of course Tiger on the Earthshaker, but it looks like they won't even have a chance of that. They're just going to let it go down, and Anna, he will go ahead and pick himself up an Aegis as well as the cheese.
Yeah, and again, you reach that point where Alliance is in no position to really force these fights anymore. You have Anna with 2 lives, and the only way to punish is if he overextends. Otherwise, when you're playing into OG, you're not gonna have a good time. You just can't kill off Anna twice unless he does overextend again, as we saw in that tier 3 push up top.
Normally. Oh, this guy has no chill.
Oh, that's a big one from Thompson. My goodness. Insania looks to be ready. Seb, though, has shown himself top lane. Alliance, they take the bait. Jerax is right behind Seb. He to be ready to go here, and it looks like Seb is really happy to take the creep wave. Won't bother, he'll just TP straight out. Meanwhile, though, Anna, he'll go ahead and take the top shrine for himself, leaving 1 shrine left on the outside of the base here for Alliance. Does give a 3k net worth lead now to the side of the lines. In fact, excuse me, OG. In fact, Jerax, he will end up finding Tiger on that Earthshaker. Seb will be there as well. I thought he was going to TP out of there, but he did stick around in the tree line, and eventually Jerax just checks it out on the Shaman and finds it. Yeah,
that's going to be a bit of a disappointment for Alliance, I feel. That does give him a slight opening here on OG to pressure these racks. And it looks like they understand it as well. Sure, he's going to be up fairly soon, but they can get some good damage on.
Anna does get started, of course. No Tail just keeping him healed up. Those Purifying Flames. Control here from Alliance is hard. They go in, though. Finger, who was that on? Looks like the Edict was there from No Tail in time. So Insania, no Finger to speak of, and now Seb jumps in but misses the skewer. Anna, again, just getting started on that melee barracks. Mana drain going to be annoying, but again, Bates Edict just making sure they can't even control Anna here. And a lot of the Atos will come out to Boxy. Anna, he'll just continue focusing on that rack. Fisher as well from Tiger, and now the Ravage comes out. Connects on 3 as well. The Echo coming up from Tiger will turn it all around. Anna's lost his first life. Can they find him on the secondary? Jerax, he's going for the TP and will make it, and Seb, he gets an RP out, but it's only going to be on Mickey. Anna, he's going to go for the BKB and Battle Trance, just trying to man fight this up against everyone. But can he get the job done? The ensnares are good, but the attribute shift is even better here from Mickey, and it looks like they're just going to be able to surround him and take him out. Seb cannot help out in even the slightest way, and it looks like he may even lose his own life. In fact, he does. The only man to walk out of there safely was Jerax, and he made it just in the nick of time.
Yeah, again, it's OG overcommitting for these objectives. This time around, I don't understand the rush. They just got that Aegis. They had all the tools they wanted. They couldn't have Tops and Cats at Global Silence this time, and definitely costing that team fight. So you do have to watch out.
Gets the batter in for his team, though. It will cost him his life. Do Glimmer Cape, but there was a sentry ward just on the west of him. Not going to be the biggest deal in the world, but of course Alliance is going to be very happy with that as they move their way into that mid lane where the T1 tower does still stand. Thompson gets hexed up again by Mickey. That morph into the Sharp is just so valuable to him, and that's a big deal.
Pretty good move if you ask me.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take this tier 1 mid and hopefully apply some pressure into tier 2 as well for Alliance. It looks like they will back off, but no real bigger objectives to go for unless they want to clear that tier 1 up top, which is surprisingly still standing as well.
Hobson now has the Shadow Blade up on the Silencer. Like he's thinking about making a play on Tiger, but Tiger does have a couple of heroes just behind him as well. Moment, just gonna sit in that tree line, chill out. Derax as well, running his way in. With the Glimmer Cape though, he's gonna spot out Boxy. They will just back off the safety for the moment. Meanwhile though, Mickey does have a full Eye of Skadi up now and it's going straight into the Butterfly next. This Morphling is beginning to get a bit out of control here.
Definitely is. I am kind of disappointed with his talent choice though. He does go for waveform attacks targets and 17 morph allies, which means we won't see that enchant totem spam coming out from our Morphling. Sadly enough, I think that would have been far more entertaining, but there is utility to speak of from the waveform talent as well, so I can't really blame the guy. He does need to really pace himself. I don't think damage is the issue for Alliance at this point anyway, so that does make sense.
Both teams just sitting back for the moment. Looks like we'll get Boxy with a blink dagger on that Tidehunter now, so he won't have to just rely on walking his way in to get those Ravages off any longer. Pick up there from him. Bot lane just being pushed in, but OG will force it out towards that tier 2 at the bot lane of Alliance. OG just trying to stick together at the moment. Definitely not wanting to get caught out by that Morphling or by that Storm. Alliance doing pretty much the exact same thing.
干嘛呢，兄弟？
Alliance, so they will have a tier 1 tower that they can target. It looks like OG are going to try and go for a tier 2 trade. Of course, in their favor, if they can get it, they will drop the Serpent Wards immediately there on Jerax. That tier 2 should just melt, though Mickey, he'll find a tier 1 tower up in the top lane as well. And Alliance, it looks like they're not going to stop. They are going to keep going here.
Yeah, and again, I don't see both sides keen. I think, of course, OG does have the tools to initiate as well. They're not quite in position, so they'll really just have to give out these tier 2s. I think they're hoping for an opening to jump maybe onto the tier 3. Otherwise, they're really just going to be farming up a bit more. Perhaps they're waiting for an item pickup. Probably that Satanic on Ana would be key. Would enable him to really man-fight a bit longer. We saw him last pretty long. As long as that battle trance was up, and having his own lifesteal outside of that would be massive.
Said, get caught out mid lane. The silence is there from Quaitbon. Can they burst him down quick enough? RP is committed from 7. The Glimmer Cape does come out as well. There won't be any follow-up to that RP, but it will save his life.
I think that's a fair move to make if you're OG. It really feels like they're just not keen on taking these fights right now anyway. So expending it there to save your hero, of course it's fine. And again, just keen on farming a bit more here for OG. You do see the hunger from Alliance to find these pickoffs, but they just haven't been landing them recently.
Well, Ana, he will go ahead and pick up a Satanic for himself now. Well, actually, mid lane there is a smoke there from Alliance. They do get the Fisher off. Ana will be able to run out. There was no follow-up there on the Fisher. Of course, Ana does have the BKB ready, but because the Fisher just may have been a bit too quick from Tiger. The Alliance, though, going to continue to move in. In fact, it looks like they know where Ana is. They do run into him. Anna, though, gets hexed up immediately. Now the Global Silence comes out. Seb gets the skewer back on the line. Qualifier, though, moves in straight on the Oracle. No tail. Can't survive this damage, or can he? The Gush comes out as well, and it looks like Boxy will take care of it, but now Boxy's in trouble. He commits the Ravage. He really only connects on one hero, and Anna is still doing a hell of a lot of damage back. So Echo comes in again. Tiger just stops them in their tracks. Qualifier now dealing the damage onto No Tail. That's a dieback on the Oracle. They will finally get the Earthshaker, but they might lose Jerax in the process because Mickey is making the chase, though. No, Shackles comes out. Jerax, he might turn this one around for his team. Foxy moves in, but gets melted immediately. The Strength Morph is there, as well as the Ethereal Blade from Mickey. But can he survive this? I don't believe he can. Anna's got him set. He will matter, but it won't matter. A triple kill going to Anna, and almost a full team wipe there for OG. They were just missing Qualifier, and they almost got him as well.
They lose your tier 3 up top as well. I mean, Jerax was there, he dropped the wards, and he does enough damage to really get some good work down there. So that's another tier 3 going away from Alliance, and that just means that OG can pressure 2 lanes quite well.
Sneaky move there from OG. Anna now will move into the mid lane. Still holds the cheese, still has a Satanic as well. Of course, they want to force up that buyback on Mickey. Bishop will be there. Anna, though, still pretty content with just hitting the tower, and it looks like after tier 3 goes down, he will move back in. So Hex does come out. Can they actually take him down, though, if they do make a jump without the Morphling? I believe they can. They're just delaying it as long as they can, but Anna, he does find one rat. Sania again, Earthspike will be there. Now the zip in though. Qualifier gets the Vortex off. Now Boxy moving in, but has no way to control this Troll Warlord. And still Mickey will hold on to the buyback. Only has about 15 seconds, but now Seth gets an RP. The 3-man skewer as well. And they'll burst out Qualifier. They'll get rid of Insania. Boxy is a sitting duck right now. He needs to get the hell out of there. But they found the Shackles on the Earthshaker Tiger. Global Silence as well, though. Qualifier with the buyback will be able to get Jerax. Tiger, can he set up for more? Bishop will connect onto Thompson, though Fortune's then, excuse me, false promise was there from No Tail. It looks like No Tail will go down, but he will allow the rest of his team to get out safely, apart from perhaps Thompson, who is still TPing, but he will make it out in time.
Again, a nice couple of kills coming out from OG. They do manage to take that entire mid lane as well. Unfortunately, not finding anything beyond that, but Alliance is making a move on at Roshan. They are scanned out immediately from Ojita.
Mickey doing a hell of a lot of damage though to the Roshan. Will force out the buyback on Jerax. Ravage is also available on Boxy right now, so perhaps feeling confident with this. The Serpent Ward's being dropped in now. Boxy doesn't know if he'll be able to get out in time, though. He will throw out the Ravage. Isn't going to be enough. Fisher is there for Tiger as well, but they've got the Tide. Now the Hex is there on the Morphling Mickey. Can he get himself out of here? They don't have an RP. Qualifier jumps in, though. No Tiger! He threw out the Ender, but he didn't get the blink off. Now Jerax found him. They took down Mickey as well. Tiger is just a sitting duck, though. Nice 4-man Fisher coming out. It looks like Seb's going to make the chase anyway. He does connect the Fisher, and with that, he is gone. The Roshan as well, going to Anna. And John, I don't know if you spotted that, but Tiger actually threw out the Echo Slam. It looks like the Arcane Curse was still ticking him down, however, so he couldn't actually get the blink off.
Yeah, again, rather unfortunate for Alliance that team fight broke out that way, but if you don't manage to catch them in your Ravage or even in your Echo Slam, you just can't control well. And, you know, now they're going to have to defend their last 2 set of racks. With the tools that they got from that last Roshan, I don't see any sort of back off from OG anymore. I think they're really going to be set. They're going to be confident to take everything they need. They haven't even picked up the refresh yet. It's still stuck in the Roshan. It looks like No Tail will walk back to pick that up, and once you have that refresh on something like maybe Sab, just the amount of control that comes out is insane.
Word of Atos being thrown out there onto Mickey, though. The buyback from Tiger will make it so they don't pursue any further, it seems. There is a full scythe of Vice available on tops and ready to go whenever. Now you have 2 hexes there on OG. Again, they're just going to try and play the delay game here until Boxy can respawn. Earthspike, though, not even connecting there on Anna. Look up that buyback status. And actually, nobody has buyback on the whole map. But neither team are ready, if necessary, for those buybacks, though OG definitely don't really care at the moment. Do, of course, still have the Aegis and Cheese available on their end of things. In fact, Refresh Shard is also there on top, so you do have the Global Silence. Quaver, he will zip in just to take care of the creep wave, though Ana has already rotated down to the bot lane where he will find the range rats. Can he find the final melee barracks though? It'll be a Global Silence. Who have they caught there? The Shackles is there onto the Titan. Now the RP. Seb finds both of them once again. Ana will get started. Global Silence is a follow-up as well. The zip in from Quaver, but it's not really doing that much though. He has jumped onto the Oracle, so No-Tail is gone. Shackles is there from Jarak, still trying to take Mickey down. Boxy now moving forward as well. Quaver on a double, but he does get bashed by Ana. He does lose his life, and that's a dieback on him. Mega Creeps as well were secured there by OG, and it looks like they'll go straight after the T4 towers. Ana does not feel like they can actually take him out. He still has the Aegis anyway. Could be the final ditch defense here for side of the line, so they are going to dive straight on the Thompson, almost bursting him down. In fact, they commit the Echo for that. Now can they take Ana out? They force him back behind the T4 tower, but he wants to go for a man fight. Seb will skewer the Morphling back as well. Mickey getting stunned up. Ana, can he permabash here? He gets the ensnare off. Well, the waveform back onto Seb, just trying to take the backlines away here from the side of OG. Ana still trying to find a real target to go after, and Seb is coming way too much damage, though nice bounce back on the Ethereal Blade with the Lotus Orb. Ana still just standing here, just hitting creeps. The range comes out from Boxy. OG Thompson is gone again. That was a dieback on him. Now the finger, Ana just gonna BKB up and try to man fight though. No, Mickey is perfectly fine. Ana probably gonna lose his Aegis here, and he does. One more time could make all the difference. Ana, Earthspike will be there from Insania. It's a lot of damage coming up from Mickey. Now Tiger trying to get the permabashes out, but the battle trance was there. Ethereal will protect Tiger from the Troll Warlord. And if they could have taken this Troll Warlord down, who knows what they could have found out of it. It looks like they will find No-Tail, and No-Tail has to commit the false promise on himself. But that is a guaranteed death coming out on the Oracle once again.
It does buy time for Ana to at least get home, man. That was a great defense there coming out from Alliance. They find the targets they want. They get the dieback on Thompson as well, but I mean, their base is pretty much gone, right? They only have one tier 4 upstanding left. They're playing against Mega Creeps. The tools are still on OG's side, but you know, Alliance is still holding on. They might be able to find a couple of key pickoffs again. I mean, you already had Thompson die back. If you find him again, he's going to be dead for a long time. So there are ways for Alliance to still bounce back, but it's a very long road for them as they have lost the entire map to OG now.
The first time they've come back from a big creep. Though they found the line, Insania will immediately go down and are committing the BKB just in case they wanted to try and counter-initiate. There is a buyback available on Insania, however, so not the biggest loss here for Alliance. Looks like Ana will go ahead and find himself a double damage room as well, this troll now. Does actually go digging, does find himself some drums. Very nice.
Ah.
Side of OG ready to go again. Too scared here. Ana wants to take advantage of that double damage. They don't have Ravage available on Boxy right now, though. We have the Bloodthorn coming out onto Quaver now. Seems so hard to be able to burst this Troll Warlord down. Bounce back with the Lotus Orb onto Mickey as well with the Adaptive Strike. Fortifications have been forced down here by Alliance. And I'm going to move his way back in. Keeping him healed up this whole time. Now the Hex comes out with the Global Silence as well onto Mickey. If they take this man down, it'll be massive for them. Still waiting for the RP, and now he finds it. He found two, but the Ravage was there. So the follow-up, it is going to come out of Ana, who had the BKB available. Mickey just trying to get out of there. He gets the Scepter off onto the Oracle, but it won't even matter. They lose two already. Looks like they're going to find even more Ana. He goes straight after the Morphling and does get the kill. The GG's been called anyway, but they found Tiger, and it's going to be a full team wipe. Boxy, the only man left standing. No buybacks available on the side of Alliance. And that's going to make OG to this group stage with the 2-0 now. Alliance going to be there with a 1-1, but what a nice game number 2 we just saw, John.
Definitely a very good game coming out from both sides. A much closer game than most people would have expected. I know a lot of people in chat, at least, were just giving this up to OG, but Alliance manages to put up a big, good fight, and that's definitely a good sign for them as they go through these groups.